Max looked up from playing his one note and he said, "They're looking for the place. I found it."
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of CCN. I'm your host, Lil Ray. Joining me as always is Ted, the Heist Man, Heistman.
Pew, 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 pew.
Go! That's probably horrible to listen to. It's not that funny. It's more funny for me.
You know what everybody says? On YouTube? They're like, "Hey guys." Almost every YouTube video starts with "Hey guys."
Hey guys.
What's
how
up?
do I start? What do I say?
What's up, YouTube?
What's
Say that
up?
a lot too.
How do I start? What do I say? I think I always say the same thing, right?
Yeah, you always introduce us.
Hey everybody. I say hey. I say hey everybody. See, I'm more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't assume everyone's a guy. You know.
Hello, sir. Yeah, what's one of our leftover monkey stories? Any of them?
Dude, we have a lot of monkey stories. We have the feral rhesus macaques, the world's smallest monkey alpha males. Which one you want?
Oh, monkey alpha male.
Let's do it.
That was a good one. Yeah, because this alpha male thing is like a myth. With wolves, do you know that? There's no alpha wolves.
Okay,
fake.
You saying that makes me feel like you're just a beta male.
No, but seriously, fuck those alpha wolves. No, but some wolves are more kind and compassionate. No, they thought there was alpha wolves because they had a zoo exhibit of wolves, and they had all these different wolves from different areas, and they threw them all in there together, and they didn't know each other, so they had like a big battle for dominance, And then they had an alpha wolf in that scenario. But then they realized that scenario never really happened in the wild. It's just the parent wolves are the alpha. So they just have like a mother and a father wolf. And then they have babies. And then they have another litter of babies. And they keep some of the babies from the last litter to hang out with the pack, help raise the babies. That's what a wolf pack is. So the alpha wolf is everybody's parent.
Whoa.
So it's grandparent.
And then when they're in captivity, I guess they get put in a weird situation. And
well, if they usually wouldn't do that, but if they just had a bunch of wolves that are just random, don't know each other, and they threw them all together, then they'd figure out who the alpha was. But normally it's just the parents who are the alpha.
That's interesting.
So really, it's more accurate to call it the parent wolf than the alpha wolf. The alpha male, alpha female.
Mm-hmm.
You just call them the mother and father. It's the same thing. But I guess this article is saying some monkeys have alphas and some don't.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. With people, it's very dubious, really, because it's because everybody's people we don't live in a tribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just hang out with our tribe all day. We're always in different circles. We go to work. And you might be the fucking man at work, right? But then you go home and, you're not really in charge. Your wife runs shit,
Again, you're sounding like such a beta male here. No, I know exactly what. Yeah, you're totally right. That is interesting.
But then you're like, I'm an alpha male. So what do you do?
So it's sometimes I'm an alpha male.
Are you the alpha male when you get pulled over for speeding? You just got to show that cop who's boss. How's that going to work out?
That's a fucking good point. Interesting, man. Yeah. So when that article says that some monkeys do have alpha males, are they saying alpha males in the way that we think about them, or just like the wolves, like a parent?
Well, I think certain, I think chimps have alpha chimps. Gorillas definitely do. But the gorillas, though, a lot of times it's the dad who is the alpha male, Because the thing is with gorillas is they don't really tolerate a lot of extra males usually. It's usually maybe a dude and his brother are kind of running shit, and then the rest are all females and children. But I guess they would fight for like a territory. They wouldn't really have a beta male hanging around with the other gorillas. Either he'd be dead or he'd be driven away, or else he'd be.
Well, I mean, shit. If you're trying to compare with people, though, gorillas aren't very similar to people at all. Really,
they're pretty similar.
Are they? I would think it's more like.
Well, we have way less sexual. Right? We have way less sexual dimorphism.
Mm-hmm. And don't you feel like?
I mean, gorillas. If we were like gorillas, like all dudes would be like 400 pounds, and all women would be like 100 pounds.
Right, and maybe we wouldn't be as sexually driven either. Like, isn't our society way more sexually driven?
Yeah, we're more like chimps because chimp females are sluts.
Yeah,
we're more like chimps,
or bonobos.
Yeah, bonobos, super slutty. But I guess bonobos, I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess their super highly sexual behaviors in captivity too.
Is it?
It could be an artificial, because they said they saw some bonobos in the wild and they seem more like regular chimps.
Really?
Males were more aggressive. Yeah. Because they've studied them a lot in captivity, They're not really acting like they naturally would because they're in captivity.
That's weird. How much of our animal knowledge is based on things that we've seen in captivity?
Probably a lot, but the thing is, it's hard to do natural history because everything has to be tied into global warming to get funding.
Yeah.
Everything's about global warming and AI. Nobody really wants to fund anybody to study different animals, hang out in Africa and just watch some fucking hippo doing his thing. That's hard to get funding for, I guess. What I've heard from people. Yeah, you got to tie it into how technology can help global warming save the cheetahs. It's stuff like that. That's what the grant would have to sound like.
Yeah.
Then it'll be sponsored by Chevron.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yep. So it's not all monkeys are alpha males. Don't assume.
And we probably don't have many. I want to know more about that because I think you made a really fucking good point there, man. You're not always the man. Sometimes you're the man, and sometimes you're not.
Right. Yeah, it's like you go to the doctor, you're like, hey, I'm the alpha male here, so I'm going to tell you what to tell me. It's yeah.
And people who act like the alpha male all the time are douchebags.
Yeah, they're like.
If you act like the alpha male sometimes, then you're cool.
Yeah.
If you do it all the time, you're an asshole.
Have you met dudes like that though? That they just sort of seem like the man, and they fucking get women wherever they go. There are some people like that.
Yeah.
It's when I was hiking the Appalachian Trail, we had this guy that we'd fucking joke around about. His nickname was Styles for Miles. He was this dude. We met him at a shelter, and he's rolling this giant spliff, without even looking at it. He's so used to it. He's got this sleeveless shirt on. He's all muscular and shit. And he's just hanging out. He's really funny, and he's gonna night hike. He's gonna smoke this giant spliff and night hike over these mountains and stuff. And I don't know, it was just pretty funny. We just it was a running joke. We just make up all these. Hey, we swap Styles for Miles. It's the Fonz and shit. He just banged onto a tree, and then all the special compartment came open. kind of like Fonz.
I knew a guy. He was in one of my bands once, and
yeah,
I was just talking to Jess about this. We were watching a really old King of the Hill episode, and one of the characters was showing his trick to always getting ladies, and he goes to a shoe store and just starts hitting on every woman that crosses his path. and then he's like, bam, got a number. He's like, bam, got a number. And Bobby's like, yeah, but you just got rejected horribly by 26 different women. I counted it. He goes, yeah, but look, it worked. And
is that the alpha male way, or is that the?
So we were talking about that, and I was talking about my buddy who did that, except that it would always fucking work. We pulled up at a stoplight once. He rolled his window down, started waving at the girl next to us and saying, roll your window down, roll your window down. She rolls her window down. He goes, hey, you're cute. You got a boyfriend? And he got her number before the green light. And he wasn't like super hot or anything. Like it used to blow my mind, but I think it was just, he had that thing where he's always the man.
He had those pheromones wafting. See, once she rolled the window down, then the pheromones were able to waft in there. See,
it crossed her nostril, and she bing.
It's like she felt pregnant instantly. She's like, I don't understand what's going on.
Oh man! Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you. Did you see the Jon Stewart on Colbert thing?
No.
Oh my god!
Is it really lame?
Oh my! It was beautiful.
Really? Tell me what happened.
So Jon Stewart. I'll play a little clip of it here.
Okay.
I'll cut it in. I guess I can't play it for you since that's not how. We should look into that. How could I do that when we're doing it remote? Anyway, Jon Stewart went on Colbert, and
how do you feel about the science now?
Well, so I will say this. I honestly mean this. I think we owe a great debt of gratitude to science. Science has, in many ways, helped ease the suffering of this pandemic, which was more than likely caused by science. So, and that's kind of.
Hold on one second.
No. Now, listen.
It's coffee. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you.
What
do you mean by that? Do you mean like perhaps there's a chance that this was created in a lab? There's an investigation.
A chance?
Well, if there was evidence, I'd love to hear it.
There's a novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do we do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan novel respiratory coronavirus lab. The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask the scientists, they're like, how did this... So wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. And you're like, no, the name of your lab. If you look at the name, let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh, because there's a coronavirus loose in Wuhan. How did that happen? Maybe a bat flew into the cloaca of a turkey and then it sneezed into my chili and now we all have coronavirus. Like, come on. Okay.
Wait a second.
What about this? Listen to this.
Wait a second.
All right.
John.
Oh my God. There's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think happened? Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe a steam shovel mated with a cocoa bean. Or it's the chocolate factory. Maybe that's it.
That could be. That could
By
be.
the way, I gave them all tuberculosis.
That could very well be, and Anthony Fauci and Francis Collins and NIH have said, like, it should definitely be investigated.
Don't stop with the logic and people and things. The name of the disease.
Wait a second.
The building.
Wait a second. But it could be possible. You could be right. It could be possible that they have the lab in Wuhan to study the novel coronavirus diseases because in Wuhan, there are a lot of novel coronavirus diseases because of the bat population there.
I understand.
It's like the saying,
it's a local specialty, and it's the only place to find bats. You won't find bats anywhere else.
Why?
Wait, Austin, Texas has thousands of them that fly out of a cave every night. Every night at dusk. Is there a coronavirus, an Austin coronavirus? No, it doesn't seem to be an Austin coronavirus. The only coronavirus we have is in Wuhan.
Yes.
Where they have a lab called, what's the lab called again, Stephen?
The Wuhan Novel Coronavirus Lab.
I believe that's the case.
And
now,
how long have you worked for Senator Ron Johnson?
Let me tell you something. About Ron Johnson.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to Stephen Colbert? Like, what the hell is his deal?
Dude, he's an establishment flunky. I think he's just an actor, man. I think he's just an actor. I know he doesn't have history in stand-up. It's in, what's that shit? And my brain words aren't working so good.
Sketch humor. He did like sketch humor, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and ad lib, you know.
But he used to be kind of edgy and kind of anti-establishment, and then somehow he became like totally establishment.
For sure. Well,
I guess all he did is make fun of Bush. Maybe he's one of these dudes who only makes fun of Republicans. Maybe
he did a great job making fun of Republicans and conservatives in the aughts. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
But again, I don't think he was writing all that, dude. I think someone else was writing a lot of that for him.
Yeah.
You know, I think he was more of an actor.
He's just weird. He was I don't know. The kind of questions he asked Bernie just raised my hackles, you know.
I didn't even watch it. I haven't watched him in years, honestly.
Yeah,
clips here and there on Twitter when he does. What was that one where he's like crying about Trump? I can't even remember. It was embarrassing. It was bringing tears to his eyes. I think it was after January 6th or something. But anyway,
he said a lot of homophobic slurs towards Trump. Remember? That was a little bit controversial. Yeah, because he was always saying he's gay for Putin and shit like that.
Oh,
and they're like, and everybody's like, why does he got to be gay? Like, what's your point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to say?
That is interesting. Huh. He feels so phony to me and weird, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's not surprising that he would be anti-gay though, because he's super Catholic, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think he would say that he's anti-gay. He just kind of got carried away.
I get you, yeah.
With his hatred for Trump, you know.
It's not like I haven't made mean gay jokes that I didn't really mean.
Yeah, but he's like...
I get it.
Yeah. No, but he's just... I don't know. It's just... I don't get it. I don't know. I guess maybe people just make lots of money for... I'd like to really... What is the smoking gun? I mean, is there a smoking gun like CNN says, hey, don't say this, say this? Like, has it been proven that they do shit like that or what?
What do you mean?
That they get these pundits to just be shills that like spelled out to get memos and stuff.
I don't know, man.
Talking points.
I remember it was for Fox. Do you remember when Rupert Murdoch, they had those like notes that Rupert Murdoch would be putting out every morning with
I believe that. I believe that, yeah.
This was like 10 years back or something. I think this was maybe longer. This might have been Bush W or something.
But I think Jon Stewart, he's got like fuck you money, you know what I'm saying? Like he's already set for life. So I feel like he feels like he could say whatever he wants, really, you know, get away with it. I'm just surprised more people aren't like that though. Isn't it weird?
He's doing what he used to fucking do, which is talk shit to the establishment.
Right.
Back in the day, the establishment was George W.
Yeah.
So him talking shit was cool. And people were happy with that.
I don't know how you could not talk shit about Biden.
Dude. Do you want to talk about G7? Did you see any of that?
No, I saw the picture where they're all posing weird on a beach. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't either. I didn't see that. But did you see the clip of Biden wandering around that Russia media was putting out and saying he was lost?
I believe it.
I don't know that he was lost. It looks like he just kind of is wandering, but he like it's very weird. He's on a deck. He's like on this like deck restaurant, like we're like a restaurant deck where everybody's like outside sitting and eating, and he just kind of is like shuffling in between tables.
Yeah.
And somebody asks him a question about G7. They're like, I can't remember what it is. Somebody's like, hey, how are the talks going or something? He's like, oh, pretty good. And Jill Biden runs in like panicked. She runs over to him, grabs him by the arm and goes, okay, come on, and starts dragging him. And as she's dragging him, everyone busts out laughing.
Really? Weird.
Yes. And Russia, like all this, like it became viral because Russian media put it out as like Biden got lost. Look at Biden getting lost. And
well, I remember. Are you old enough to remember when they used to make fun of Reagan for seeming like he had Alzheimer's?
no, I don't.
Well,
no.
they did.
He did have Alzheimer's too, right?
Yeah, he started to get Alzheimer's, and the Democrats were super, like, they were like really into like bringing it up and stuff. They had a lot of political cartoons and stuff like that. But it's really weird. Like, people are so partisan. Like, they only can recognize that the opposite party's candidate has Alzheimer's. Like, it's so stupid. It's like so stupid. If you either have Alzheimer's or you don't, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
like Reagan was like the Gipper to like the conservatives, you know, and could do no wrong. But really, he had Alzheimer's. Like Nancy Reagan was running shit like towards the end. That's kind of how it was with FDR too. Like Eleanor Roosevelt was running shit towards the end. He did for like 4 terms. Yeah, he was crazy. He was almost like a dictator. He did like 4 4-year terms, FDR. So like people like going into World War II, like their whole life they only had FDR as president.
Weird.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like you're going in the army, and the only person you ever remember being president was FDR, and he's still president.
Dude, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
So I didn't know he was going crazy though. Was it just dementia?
No, well, he wasn't really going crazy. He was just very, very ill.
Right.
He was like unconscious, I think, for like towards the end or something. Yeah.
Isn't that the reason we have term limits now?
Well, yeah, because of him, yeah. Because it used to be a gentleman's agreement, just to have 2 terms, and that's it. And mostly everybody did follow it. And he was the first one to kind of take advantage of the situation. It was kind of like Hugo Chavez, president for life.
God bless him.
What are we talking about? Oh, fucking Kamala. Did you see that Jimmy Dore video about Kamala Harris versus Kamala Harris?
No. No.
She's like campaigning on the border, like how we have to help refugees and shit. And she has like these talking points. They're very obvious because she keeps repeating them in different venues. You know, the same talking points. You know, in the U.S. we have strong arms, so we use our strong arms to embrace refugees and help them. And she's like saying all this shit like over and over again, like the same talking points. She's like saying like these women brave going through the whole country of Mexico to become refugees, and we should honor them. And she's like saying all this shit. And then they show her giving the speech, like, if you want to come to the United States, don't come.
Yeah, I remember
she's saying
that.
like the same thing
clip.
as Trump. Yeah, it's really funny.
I saw that clip. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But she's got some serious mental health issues going on, too. She's got that weird, like, Xanax laugh, you know? It's, like, getting worse, I feel like.
I think that's just her being nervous, man. I don't know.
You don't think she's medicated?
I mean, probably to the extent that everyone's medicated.
Remember that thing where, like, we did it, Joe, we did it? Like that famous clip where he got elected president.
Yeah, that was
like,
weird.
We did it, Joe. Like, everybody was making fun of her. She sounded, like, really fucked up.
That was strange. She sounded, like, fucked up, for sure.
Yeah.
She could have been drunk, though.
Yeah, she might be one of these wine women, these wine moms.
She kind of seems more like that to me, like a little whiny.
Yeah, that's true. It's like 3 or 4 glasses of wine if you catch her like on a Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. You know who really makes me think wine is Pelosi?
Oh yeah,
doesn't she? She seems like always like on a brunch drunk.
I got tricked. They manipulate her voice sometimes, I think.
Oh hey, hold on a second. We got someone beeping in over here.
Whoa, is it Bigfoot? You gotta play it cool.
Are you recording?
We're very technologically savvy on this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I really know what I'm doing.
Okay, are you recording now?
Yeah.
Okay, groovy. All right.
Sweet.
Now I'm gonna have both of you motherfuckers eating.
Too. I'm gonna eat my peach then if he's gonna eat cookies.
Dude, I'm a hungry motherfucker. Dude, listen. I hike like 8 miles a day. I'm always running around.
You hike 8 miles a day? Dude, you should do like the Appalachian Trail.
I would like to.
You should, man.
I would love to.
Can you scrape together like $3,000 and like sell your car and like move out, get rid of all your shit? That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it.
Why 3,000?
You need like $3,000 to do it, at least. Like the whole thing.
Why do I need money to? Why?
Because you got to buy food while you're hiking. You got to like take showers and shit.
There's no animals out there to hunt.
No. Well, I mean, you can be like totally broke and do it, but everybody will like start to get sick of you, and they'll see you coming, and they'll start hiking faster.
Okay, wait.
If you're the only one that doesn't have any money.
Wait, hold on a second. Paint a full picture of what this experience is like for me, because I feel like I'm thinking of something else.
Hold on,
okay.
Real quick. Hold up. Hey, hold up. Before we go any farther, everybody, this is Rob M.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Rob.
The horrible Rob that we always talk about now. I think we've talked about you in every show now because at one point, Jessica came in here in the middle, didn't know we were recording, busts in and goes, fucking Rob just sent me a song about fisting.
You're like, yeah, he said once a week.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's multiple times he said that to me and forgotten that he said and been like, ha, here we go. I'm like, yeah, I know, man, I know.
So not only am I a crude asshole, but I'm completely unoriginal, and I just forget. I try to send you things because it's funny to me. I keep sending. Okay,
them. So sorry about that, everybody. This is Rob. You remember Rob? He's been on the show before. Okay. So yeah, what were you're asking Ted to explain hiking the Appalachian Trail, right?
Okay, I have hitchhiked rope, like across the country, but that's like freestyling, like your own path, you know. But like the Appalachian Trail,
he had to do things that he's not proud of.
Yeah, right. like sheetrock. Like I hitchhiked from Anchorage to like Seattle, and I met all these cool people. It was like an adventure, you know. But like the Appalachian Trail is like if you hike the whole thing, you're called like a through hiker. That's what they call them. Like you hike the whole thing. Like you either start in Georgia or you start in Maine. And you either go like south or north, and there's like a shelter every 10 miles that you could stay in, and you just hike the Appalachian Trail. Like you meet people, you have friends. Like what I would do, like most people that are going to hike the whole thing, like they hike for like a week, and then they get into a town that has like a hostel, and they stay at like a hostel for like a couple days. Like do all your laundry, you know, take a shower, like buy food for like the next, you know, 200 miles until you go to the next town. So that's like, to do that, you need like a budget because basically what you do is when you cross the road, you hitchhike to town and buy food, you know, for the rest of the trip. So that's like if you wanted to through hike it, you'd need like a budget like that.
That makes sense. Did you take a tent with you?
Yeah. You have like a tent, you know, sleeping bag, like a camp stove,
sex toys.
Yes, you know, fleshlight.
Why $3,000 specifically?
Well, that's just.
Or was that just a number you threw out there?
It's like it's about 2,000 miles, you know. So
okay.
Like super hardcore, like low budget would be $1 a mile. But then you'd give you an extra leeway, you know, have an extra grand, you know. So it's not quite as bad because like you got to buy. You start eating after a while. You start eating like 6,000 calories a day almost. You know.
Yeah, you have to.
You're like, yeah, you're so fucking hungry. Like people hit upon like honey buns. It's like the cheapest high calorie thing you could eat. It's like the honey bun. It's like really bad for you. Like normally you eat a diet that would normally cause people to develop diabetes. Really?
But because you're so physically active, it's appropriate.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's something, if you don't eat enough calories, in fact, it will slow you the fuck down.
Oh, yeah. Well, most people lose a lot of weight. Well, actually, women gain weight. Men usually lose a lot of weight. Women gain weight.
They gain weight on the trail?
Yeah, they gain weight on the trail. That's common.
How? Yeah. Wait, their body's still burning calories.
They probably burn less fat and they build more muscle and stuff. You know?
Oh, yeah. That is a thing, too. I've had girlfriends be like, I don't like working out because I gain weight. I was like, you're gaining lean tissue. Right. You're preventing all of that nastiness from sagging. You're doing yourself a service. The weight isn't important. The weight doesn't matter.
Nobody's putting you on a fucking scale.
Yeah, no one's putting you on a scale and being like, I don't like this bitch. What, 160?
No, they're like,
Get
dude,
the hell
she
out of
was
here.
hot, but then I saw that it was 160.
I'm doing too many squats.
Yeah, nobody
is just too big.
Nobody complains about their chick doing too many squats.
Wait, I have a technical question real quick.
Yes, sir.
I just realized something. I should probably put headphones in, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it'll help. It'll help with crosstalk for you.
Yeah. Peach is so good. Oh, wait, sorry.
I can't hear that at all. That's not disgusting at all. No. Here, take another big bite. I think I heard a little bit of that one. But it's not as like sloppy as I would hope it to be.
Oh, good.
Like, that would be nice.
I try to be professional.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Perfect. All right. Then now I'm isolated.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
Dude, I spend most of my time out in the sun building fucking houses out of twigs and shit. Like, I don't know how to do this.
Really? What are you doing?
No, not really. No, not a real house. No.
But that's what you're aiming for now, right? That's what you were talking about. You want to go be a farmer or some shit, right?
That's how I'm feeling right now. Yeah, I really am. A woofer?
Have you heard of a woofer?
No, what's that?
That's willing workers on organic farms. Like, you can just travel the U.S. You can travel the world working for room and board on farm.
Kind of, yeah. Something like that. There's a farm in a town near Albuquerque called Corrales that I was looking at working at. I mean, the only problem is, like, I want to engage in that kind of work, but the pay is total dog shit.
Yeah.
The pay is always garbage, and it's like, it shouldn't be. Like, I'm literally giving you my body. This is something I've, been working on for 29 years.
Yeah, I feel like peasants are going to come back.
What's going to come back?
You know? Peasants.
Oh, peasants?
Because you're just going to be like, hey, you can work here.
No, I think you're absolutely right, dude.
You get your own hovel. You just, like, shell peas all day. We'll make sure the wolves don't kill you.
We talk about this way too fucking much on this podcast.
Yeah.
About the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and their plan for 2030. But it's every day becoming like more serious. Like, okay, neither of us have looked into is it BlackRock? We were just talking about this before the show. We meant to look at it this week, but we didn't look at it at all.
Blackstone.
But Blackstone. So Blackstone is some sort of financial company that's buying up giant swaths of neighborhoods around the U.S.
Yes,
at higher than market value. So like they're buying in ways to make sure that you and I can't buy in the neighborhood. They're going to instead buy up the neighborhood. So, everyone's going, well, what's going on with that? They're not telling anyone why they're doing this, right? So the question is why, right?
Right.
You go back to this WEF idea. What is it? In 2030, you will own nothing and you'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
And like me and Ted have talked about a bunch on here, what this is really talking about is a subscriber model. They're talking about a subscriber model for life, not just your Netflix, fucking everything, your apartment, your car, the fucking tools in your house, like everything is a subscriber based model. And
this is
okay, right off the top, it sounds like even if you're listening to their argument, they're saying, well, you're not going to have to worry about owning anything. If stuff breaks down, big deal. It's not yours. Who cares? You're always going to have something. That all sounds good. But what's really going on is someone owns that. You may not own that, but fucking somebody owns that shit. And it's just a way to make poor people poor and rich people richer. Blah, blah, blah. I'm railing into it. The new thing that's coming up now is, Ted, did you see this shit with Biden? Let me look this up. I was just watching Crystal and Sager talking about this. He was trying to tax gas. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that got pushed out too. But surrounding this whole talk, they were talking about how there's this idea coming up now that they were discussing. I can't remember where this is, but the Biden administration was talking about it. And I saw an editorial about this, about how we should all be renters we're soon going to all be renters, and we should be scared of that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing if we're all renting. Like, are you fucking crazy?
Everything is already on a subscription model as far as I'm concerned. Like, there was this girl at work that I was talking to that says she buys all of her clothes like in payments.
What?
So she said she was like, I wanted to buy higher quality clothing, but I couldn't afford a lump sum, like paying for it that way. So I forgot what it was, but there's some sort of program where they'll pay for it, and then you pay them back in payments, like in 4 payments over like 4 months or some shit.
Weird.
It's kind of like credit, right?
Is that like online?
I didn't ask for enough details to know.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the thing. It's like layaway. It's like layaway, right?
Yeah.
And so everything kind of is going down that route. I mean, this girl is like 20 years old, so this is like she's super stoked about being able to do that, you know. And I think I've spoken to a few other people that are around that age that have been doing that as well. So I think that is like the general idea that nothing is owned and everything is going to be rented. But I feel pretty conflicted about that. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think ownership is cool. However, I do think it would be good for the human species to have to work until they die. I really genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that. Okay?
Yeah.
Like,
but we're already working until we die, and everybody owns everything. We don't have some fucking corporate conglomerate owning our shit and renting it to us.
Why do you need to own anything?
I agree with you, except
I kind of would think it would be fun to not own anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I totally get what you're saying. I get what and also that, like, if you think about it, like, this would answer a lot of problems with greed and like obsession with like belongings and shit like that. I totally get that part. My problem with this is that it's not everybody that's going to be renting.
No, it's not.
It's all the poor people that are going to be doing it. And we're going to be throwing our money away, man. That's what it really means. We throw our money away. The person on the other end who's renting to us is just collecting our money for no value. They're not selling you a new good.
Are you concerned with a certain group of people holding a certain amount of power? Yes.
And what we already are looking at, the 1% already has so much more money than us. And this is just another way to give them even more, to give them all of it, not even more, all of it.
Let me ask you,
they're going to own all the things.
What is that? Like, how does that power translate, though? And the only reason why I ask this is because, so like, I don't own my apartment. I rent this thing, but I'm never here. You know, some days I think about, why the fuck do I even do that? Like, why do I rent this place? I'm here like 2 hours a day. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, I'm pretty comfortable with being outdoors most of the time. Like, I would sleep outdoors if I felt like it was socially acceptable to do, you know? But like, I don't need to own property. Like, I feel like I can really do okay on my own, just roaming the world.
Well,
that's like, honestly, I think safety and comfort and ownership is a way to alleviate everyone's idea of anxiety. But it's like, it's not real. It's not real. And the more you get used to the comfort that the 1% or whatever group of people provide, the more you're going to depend on them. And I think that's definitely a problem, like the dependence. But like, you can utilize it, you know? It's like, it does not take much money to sustain my lifestyle. It takes like nothing almost, you know? I have to pay for my apartment. I have to buy food. I have gas, shit like that. That's about it.
I have gas.
Gas. You have, I can keep the rest of the money that I make. I just keep it and save it. And just like, it's just sort of like saying, like, if I don't need the power that a certain group of people has, I'm free to live my life exactly the way I want, not worrying about that power at all. That power means nothing to me. And it has no power over me because of that. Like, if ultimately we get to a point where, you know, I have to cut off a limb to like stay in my apartment, or just some weird rules that
you have to get a microchip.
I have to get a microchip or something. Like, I really feel like, though it would be difficult, I would be able to go sustain my life out in the wild. I really genuinely believe that.
But is it healthy for for humanity? Like, think about instead of thinking about your fucking self.
Are you telling me not to be a narcissist? Okay, let me try.
What about like humanity as a biological entity, as a whole, as one?
Think about the Aborigines, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's like up until like the 70s, there was like Aborigines that didn't have any clothes, just wandering around the desert. They didn't even know. There was like uncontacted tribes in Australia, like in the early 70s, and they just laid down in the sand and slept, and they ate like lizards. That was their whole. That was like their whole lifestyle.
I'm not being like, oh, you shouldn't live like that. Like that. I can't believe we're getting stomped down. My point is that, like, I'm not even saying that you wouldn't be happy that way. They might be right. You would be happy. I just don't want to live enslaved to someone.
No, but that's
even if I can live through it, it's wrong to be enslaved.
Like, I agree.
That's my point.
I agree, and I honestly think that slavery is kind of a choice. Like, I think you choose to be enslaved.
That's one hot take, buddy.
Don't fucking quote me. That's slavery is a choice.
Write that down. That's clip worthy.
No.
We're talking about Juneteenth with Rob.
How long would it take until I got my ass kicked if I wore a t-shirt that said slavery is a choice? Walking around outside. How long would it take?
I should call
That's
the
like
episode
something.
that.
What's that comedian's name? Ari Shaffir. That's like something he would do. Like, wear a t-shirt.
You're right. That is something Ari Shaffir would do.
Listen,
and that's why Ari Shaffir isn't around anymore.
Modern day economical slavery is a choice.
You're saying, like, let's say not slavery, but like poverty?
Poverty? No, not even poverty.
Yeah.
Poverty is not a choice either.
Yeah, see, like,
poverty is not a choice either. But
no, keep going, Robert.
Go ahead.
Okay. So like, there is a certain aspect of this where I grew up a certain way around a bunch of cowboys that like taught me the value of not only living off the land, but like enjoying it, like loving it. Without that experience, I don't think I would be able to do the things that I do. So there is a point there to say, like, if you're born in some shitty neighborhood in some inner city and you never have access to learn how to go outdoors or how to survive on your own, what the fuck are you supposed to do? That's not a choice. That's true.
Right.
But I feel like nowadays, even though everyone has access to knowledge and information, cultivating the desire to seek out that information, that's the confusing part. Because I've never lived in like true poverty. So I've always had access to information, and it's always been shown to me that the desire to learn is something valuable and important. The desire to take care of yourself is something valuable and important. If that's not a value instilled within a family, then someone never has the desire to learn or to go like seek out and expand and go out into the world. I don't really know. Like, I don't know if it is fair to get them addicted to certain comforts of life, because I don't know how to say this without sounding offensive. If they never know any better, what the fuck are they supposed to do?
Well,
what the fuck are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
I feel like you sound more like Tyler Durden. I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between Tyler Durden. What's the difference between Tyler Durden and that guy in the wizard suit of WEC? Like, they're not saying the same thing. They can't be saying the same thing, right?
Right.
Because you guys are familiar with like Fight Club, right? You've watched it like
that's my favorite movie of all time. Unfortunately,
that's a fucking awesome movie.
I haven't seen it since high school, I loved it.
I watched it right when I was going through a divorce. I was like, fuck
the book was terrible.
I'm going to become a hobo.
Did you read the book?
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
The book was more...
That's bad. I didn't like it, man.
The book was very similar, though. I felt like the screenplay was pretty close to the book. You didn't think so?
Nah. I thought they pulled out a lot cooler themes, like, than the book did. The book, I don't know. But yeah, anyway.
But
it's been
just
so long.
the idea of, like, slotting, like, slotting... it's like pretty cool because they're like owning nothing. You're just like squatting, and I don't know. I kind of tried to like follow that philosophy for a few years. Just kind of like things that you own end up owning you. You know how like they say all these little aphorisms, in Fight Club.
Yeah.
Well, for a while I lived in a tent on the Evergreen campus in Olympia, Washington.
Nice.
And I just had like my little stealth campsite. Like I never would leave any shit around. Like I would keep my tent like totally empty, just with my sleeping bag in there. So if somebody found it, like nobody would take anything or anything. And I would always like walk in like a different way, so I wouldn't leave tracks. And it was just like this little stealth spot, and I just like lived there, and I'd like fucking work different jobs and stuff, So I had like money and stuff. So. It was kind of fun, but it's kind of hard to like. It's like good to like be a monk and live like that, but if you want to have like a normal person as like a girlfriend, like kind of hard.
See, that's the hard part. Yeah, that's the hard part. Like if you were to short circuit the part of my brain that needs the love of a woman, I would be living such a radically. I don't even think I'd be wearing a fucking shirt right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wear animal skin.
So much shit. I would absolutely. I would look so radically different than I do right now.
When my wife goes, every year she has to go off to this like weekend conference for her job.
Yeah.
Once a year she goes away for 3 days. In those 3 days, I get ill because I eat the most horrible food, like the grossest. I don't eat. And then I don't eat at all. And then I'll go, oh shit, I need to eat, and go get like chili pie or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I won't have a regular, instead of going to sleep at night and waking up in the morning, I just kind of fall asleep on the couch when I'm tired and like wake up at 3 in the morning. And
you need structure, dude.
I gotta have a woman in my life to like,
does the whole house become messy?
Make me wash my ass. You know what I mean? Basically, give me a reason to wash my ass.
I don't even think you need structure. Like, how often, have you guys ever tried to practice like radical acceptance? Where pick 4 hours of the day and take every 10 minutes to be like, I accept what's going on. Like, start sweeping and then just stop in the middle of sweeping, even though there's more floor that needs to be swept, and just accept it. And see how that feels. I'm serious.
It's not just accepting the moment. It's specifically accepting things that aren't finished.
Yeah, it's like literally saying, I have zero control and this shit doesn't matter at all. Like, who cares? Like, why does this matter? There's like certain things where it's like, if I don't eat after a week, it matters because I'm gonna fucking die. Or I'm gonna feel like shit. But sweeping the floor, like, having a nice car, like always making sure the house is clean, always doing a routine. At the end of the day, what utility is that actually fucking providing you other than the comfort and the alleviation of anxiety?
Right.
Honestly, you don't get diseases.
Well, like to a certain degree, yeah. So
keep the ants away.
It depends how
you gotta get those crumbs up, or the ants show up.
It depends how messy you are in general, though.
Yeah, you are a super clean motherfucker, dude.
I just say that at my job.
Josh, you say that I'm a super clean motherfucker, but I'm a lazy motherfucker. I'm so lazy that I don't make messes. You know what I mean? That's how lazy I am. Like, I never want to clean, so I just never make a mess.
You just cut it off at the like.
I cut it off. I fucking cut it off at the knee, dude. I never want to clean, so I don't make a mess.
Wow. Well, I'm not that organized, so I like to just throw away a bunch of shit, and it keeps it more organized. Just fucking throw everything away, and then let it sit in the garbage can for a while, and then like what might be important in there, it'll come to you, like your subconscious mind will be, oh fuck, your title of your car is in there. Then you like fucking dig through it, you find that, and you put that out, and then you just like throw the rest away.
Interesting.
I'm so bad at that shit. Like,
yeah,
if someone's like, "Oh, go grab your lease. I need to read something on there." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, who keeps a fucking lease around?"
I gotta get my car registered. I have expired Arizona plates still.
Listen, guys, if this was the late,
only been here 8 months.
if this was the late 1800s, this would be that would be a perfect lifestyle for us.
Fuck yeah.
Just outlaw cowboys.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
I just want to bring this all back and close it up. Slavery is not a choice.
Slavery.
And people who want to enslave others are fucked up. So even if you could live as a slave and be happy, you shouldn't have to.
I like the cowboy outlaw.
1,000% agree.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about slavery never died out, Rob. You know that on the podcast last month.
Yeah, we've talked about because
the 13th Amendment allows slavery. Yeah. So you can't be, nobody can be subjected to involuntary servitude unless they're a prisoner. What it says right now.
Oh yeah,
Constitution.
Like in plain English,
and then you're fucking making
English,
license
it says
plates and
that.
shit. Yeah.
Being an outlaw is pretty cool though, because like I feel like they had like a sustainable lifestyle. You know, they had like a small footprint. They just kind of hid out in the woods and fucking rob people only when they needed to.
Yeah, man. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're not killing people in cold blood, I'm totally fine with it. Because you are just surviving on your own and being happy, and you're free. You're totally free. And it's like, I'm not going to kill anybody unless they step on my boots. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to kill a motherfucker, but that's my choice, and I have the freedom to make it.
Just don't step on my Air Jordan.
Don't step on my Air Jordans. Yeah, I'm going to shoot you with my 6-shooter. Yeah.
No, but this is like the temporary autonomous zone kind of concept. Right? Like the pirates, didn't he?
Yes, it is.
Hakeem Bey wrote about like the pirates and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah,
they were like
really into pirate communes.
societies, weren't they? Like these.
Well, okay,
pirate
hold up. Okay, the way Hakeem Bey writes about the pirate enclaves, yes, they were a utopian society. I don't know if that's historically accurate, though.
Like the Peg Boys perspective is not as... he wasn't as down with everything.
Go look right now at the Somalian pirates. Like doesn't seem like very...
Not utopian.
Not very fun.
Well, I feel like they're pirates because their whole way of life was like destroyed and they got nothing else they could do. That's what I heard. They couldn't necessarily want to be pirates, I think they're just like we have no livelihood.
I'm sure some of them did. But
like, look at all these rich motherfuckers in these boats.
Yeah. Opportunity is floating right by us, boys.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember what happened, Ted? Do you remember the story? Because it's like they were farmers, right? And their farms got pulled. Am I making this up?
Or something fucked up happened,
Yes, never mind.
Something fucked up.
It sounded like maybe you remembered. I can't remember.
So
I sort of remember that they used to have like a normal country, then it got all fucking wrecked, and they became pirates. Like something bad happened. Did you guys cut out? I can't hear anybody.
I'm losing you.
Yeah, you cut out a little too.
Cut out.
You're back. You're back.
Are you walking around?
Pirates. Just giggling.
Holy shit. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Look, can you hear us?
What? This is the pirate episode. You gotta do some clip art with that.
Fine. I'll find some clip art of pirates. That should be easy. Easy enough. I want to know where. Okay, this isn't a video podcast; it's audio. But I still would feel better about it if Robert wore his hat.
Okay.
His outlaw hat.
Could you put that back on, please? Thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
Makes me feel more comfortable.
I will.
Okay. Well, Ted, look. Rob is super interested, clearly, in the hobo lifestyle that you're putting out there. The problem is what if he bumps into Bigfoot?
Bigfoot. Okay, you know what I found out, Rob? Bigfoot.
Yeah, tell me.
So there's all these like woodchucks that think Bigfoot is just an undiscovered ape that we haven't found, and they're like really attached to that idea. So I found out the Bigfoot Research Organization, the BFRO, if you call them and say that you saw Bigfoot, and then they're jotting down like your experience, and you say, and then I saw a gray alien, or Bigfoot like spoke to me telepathically, or I saw like a glowing orb like above his head, or if you say anything woo-woo, like besides the Bigfoot encounter, then they just throw it in the garbage.
Bigfoot
totally
made
discount it.
Sweet love to me in the middle of the night. I loved every second of it.
That part they're writing down. That part they're writing down. They're like, okay, made sweet love to you, and then you're like, and I think he might have been an alien. They're like, they just crumble it up.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Yeah. But like a lot of times when people encounter Bigfoot, they encounter a bunch of other weird shit too, like UFOs, like glowing balls of light, like other weird creatures, like Black Panthers and weird shit. Oh, and also there was like fairies.
Hold on. Why is a Black Panther a weird thing?
For some reason, like in Australia, when they see Bigfoot, they see like Black Panthers a lot of the time.
So
that's weird, dude.
They coincide with each other. Yeah.
Aliens this is just like they're walking their dog. It's Bigfoot. They're just taking it for a fucking walk.
I think there could be something to that because we're not getting the full story. Like, it's already a marginal, like, the Bigfoot community is already marginal, but so it's kind of I think they're a little bit insecure. Like, they want to leave the woo stuff out. Yeah. But the woo stuff and Bigfoot usually goes together, like, more often than not. Like, they see weird shit along with Bigfoot. Like, they don't just see Bigfoot. It's like
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, also there's folklore in like every continent. There's folklore about some creature that looks like Bigfoot. Like in Europe, they had like the wood woes, or they have all these different creatures that are sort of like that sounds like Bigfoot. And they got the Yowie in Australia, the Wendigo. They have like the Yeti. Like in the Himalayas. In Africa, there's some kind of Bigfoot. I forgot what they call it.
Ted, well, first of all, are you walking around right now?
No, I'm sitting.
Oh, okay, because you keep cutting out in and out. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
What's the book you're reading? You just said you picked up a book, right?
It's called Where the Foot... Do you have it up on the show notes?
Yeah, like, Where the Footprints End by Joshua Cutchin.
Yeah, Where the Footprints
What is that?
End. Well, he just, like, is cataloging, like, all these different Bigfoot sightings and, like, what the other weird shit that went along with it. Well, they're... Like, it's... Like, they see Bigfoot, like, in a liminal space, Like, usually it's, like, an area that has different elements come together, like the land and the water, okay.
You mean liminal, like where two things meet, right?
Yeah.
Like a road, right, or something.
Like there's certain hot spots where they will see Bigfoot all the time, like over the years, and they also will usually see a bunch of other weird shit too. It's never like just Bigfoot.
Do you think Bigfoot is the same thing as the wild man, like wild man stories?
That's what the book is talking about. Like, it's written kind of weird because he just catalogs all this shit. Like you read a chapter and it's all about the fairies, like the connection between the fairies and Bigfoot. I guess like people in Europe are super into fairies. Like in Iceland, there's like certain rocks where they think the fairies live, and so they'll like reroute a fucking road around it. They don't fuck with fairies.
That's a no joke. They moved a highway around one. I need a ferry highway. Let me make a note of that. Yeah, they were trying to drive a highway or build a highway through one of these things, and the locals were like, "Fuck no," and made a big deal, and they spent millions of dollars extra to build around it, right?
But I guess if you fuck with the fairies, like bad shit happens to you. That's probably why they don't want to do it, right?
This is another fucking thing we always bring up, but it's fairies have a very similar story to alien abduction and satanic abuse. Right, You lose time, you disappear and come back, and it's like times, you've been gone for years and you can't remember where you were and all this shit. Or
like Rip Van Winkle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or just stories of the fairies kidnapping you and you going to another world, and they're,
there's fairy abduction stories?
Yeah. That's what they used to do.
Fairy stories are basically fairy abduction stories. That's what a changeling is. A changeling is a fairy that comes and kidnaps your kid out of the crib and replaces it with a shape-shifting fairy that's not real. And so I think people would kill their babies sometimes, being like, "It's a fucking changeling."
I think most phenomena that occurs in life, especially reported phenomena, is something that just hasn't been classified or understood by us yet. Like,
oh yeah.
Do you remember? You remember that thing I was telling you about, Josh? The EMDR thing, the bilateral stimulation.
Yeah. Tell what that is.
So EMDR is a form of therapy for trauma and psychology, and it uses something called bilateral stimulation, where you can either look at something and move your eyes left to right, or you can like tap your shoulders 1, 2, 3, 4. You kind of create like a safe space within your mind to discuss trauma. And this bilateral stimulation, it stimulates certain areas of the brain that just force you to calm down. So if you're ever upset about, you can try this. If you're ever upset about something, find a way to get a relaxed posture somewhere in your house and like tap on your knees and just alternate back and forth. And close your eyes and think about the thing that you're upset about, and you'll be able to calm yourself down. You'll be able to get your brain to not react in the normal, emotion, the normal arousal level that it reacts when you think of trauma, and you'll be able to process it effectively.
I found a study that was saying that they noticed it in drummers a lot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's also something they do to teach stroke victims how to speak again. Like they teach them how to speak in rhythm. So they won't be able to say, my name is Sandy, but they'll be able to say, my name is Sandy. They'll be able to say that, right? Anyway, so my point being, though, is like psychology is aware of this thing now where we can use bilateral stimulation to calm our brains down to process trauma. And it's actually like way more effective than talk therapy. It's way more effective than anything else we've ever done. But Josh, you were telling me about how this practice has been around for a long time. And a lot of different people have been using it, specifically within magic. And 30 years ago, I think if you would have presented this idea to the scientific community, especially even psychologists, they would have told you it's like magic bullshit. But now, like since we've been able to run tests and like classify it in a scientific way, the Western world is now like, oh, this magic bullshit is now science. Like literally a lot of forms of psychotherapy in modern times is like diluted Buddhism. It's like Buddhism that you can translate to the people. So like
with cool jargon attached.
With cool jargon attached, yeah. So what I'm saying is like phenomena is only woo-woo until we figure out a way to classify it in our own Western scientific
to quantify
terms.
It, right? And
yeah.
Well, some guy said this tweet that I like. He was saying something about like the common belief in Western society is that science has like a discrete explanation for everything. Like people just have this belief. Like they're like, well, I'm not a scientist, but I know if I really wanted to look it up, like science already figured this out. Like they have the answer. And so I'm just confident that it's there, even though I don't really know what it's about, but I just have this belief that science like figured it out already.
A lot of what we use in psychology has been there for hundreds of years. Right. The only reason why it's not being called woo-woo is because we've classified it in Western terms. So it's like the things are always there. It's just no one's going to lend credence to Sasquatch or any of the things that happen around him until we figure out a way to actually classify it.
Until someone takes a picture of him.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, and then people will be like, "Oh, that's a fucking Sasquatch." Yeah, like just don't feed him peanut butter.
It's like fake.
I don't know. Yeah,
I wanted to talk to you guys about Alex Jones. He just showed up on the Andrew Schultz show, the podcast.
Recently?
Yeah, like this week. I was just watching a shit ton of clips this morning. And
wait, who's Alex Schultz?
Andrew Schultz. Remember that comedian? It doesn't matter.
I remember.
So Alex Jones' take on the UFO thing happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is another example, right? 2 years ago, UFOs was still fringe bullshit.
Right.
Now it's boring CNN, right?
It's like boomer shit now. Yeah.
I don't even watch the videos anymore. I'm so bored of them. Alex Jones said on the Andrew Schultz show that he thought that this was American technology that we're flexing to China to be like, back the fuck off.
Oh.
We could fuck you up with our UFOs.
That would be, you know what, though? It could be that they really are UFOs, but now they're saying it like, oh yeah, it's all our secret shit. So don't fuck. Like, you could use it that way.
I'm way more afraid of a sick chicken than I am of UFOs. I don't want any more pandemics. I like socializing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. China wins with their sick chickens, dude. Or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Fucking Wuhans.
Fucking Wuhans, man. They win.
I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm so nervous that this UFO thing is just the next. Like, COVID didn't really work out. It was too divisive. UFOs we can do, and everyone will be
like the ultimate psyop.
And this is an old idea in the conspiracy world. The Project Bluebeam, is that the right one, Ted? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it is.
Where you shoot a hologram of a fucking UFO in the sky, and everyone will hug and be friends again.
All those movies, everybody, the whole world pulls together to fight the aliens. Like
right,
Independence Day.
This is like in our brain, and think about how I don't know. To me, it just makes sense. Like, that would be the next.
But that would probably flush out the real aliens. They'd be so fucking pissed off that we're trying to manipulate them, like their image to like enslave humanity. They'd probably, like the dolphins. Well, probably at least the dolphins would really be pissed off if that happened. They'd probably.
Or the real aliens are going to manufacture a fake alien reveal. Oh.
A fake alien reveal?
Yeah, they're going to put a hologram on the real aliens. Are going to put a hologram on the UFO. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I find the bullshit more interesting than like the actual UFO sightings. Like, I want to hear about like Alex Jones's fucking reptoids. Like, that stuff's cool. Like, because they're real reptoids and they like shapeshift, do all this cool shit. Just like talking about the UFO, like, oh, I saw this light and it turned at a right angle and it was going super fast. Like, that just seems like nerdy, like aerospace type shit. Like, I'm not really is into it. You know what I'm saying? It's like
space nerd. Go back to space camp, bro.
Yeah, it's like I want like the weird, like biology shit. Like fake biology stuff.
Yeah,
the cryptozoology shit.
Yeah,
I think all these news stories are bringing out in me the fact that I'm really not actually interested in UFOs as much as I am in weird shit. Yeah.
It's right. It's the weirdness is what adds the novelty. Like, if UFOs become a common thing that you see every day, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, give me something novel. I just want novelty in my life. You know what I mean?
Like, the novelty of this story isn't the UFO thing. It's Alex Jones.
It's Alex Jones. Yeah. Thank God for Alex Jones for providing consistent amounts of entertainment in my life for such a long period of time. And he always ups the ante, dude. He's perfect. Yeah. He's the ultimate. Hands down, Alex Jones is the best entertainer that has ever existed.
Hell yeah.
I just hope he doesn't die.
Crazy. He's going to probably. He's gonna have a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
His blood pressure.
We're trying to figure out why Joe Rogan's head is so big. Like, we think it's like Narcy thinks he like drinks a lot, but I think it's like the growth hormone.
Wait, I gotta look into this because I'm a little confused. I also have a big head, so I'm a little curious about this too.
But your head's not growing over time.
But it's not growing.
If you saw a picture of you 10 years ago, your head's not like half the size it is now, right?
It might be. I look a lot like whenever I was like fucking 17. I look a lot different than how I look now.
Oh, really?
I'm like a whole other person. Yeah.
You're not taking like endogenous testosterone and growth hormone, are you?
I'm not. No. You saying Joe Rogan juices?
Yeah, he like. Well, it's like they call it hormone replacement therapy, HRT.
Those aren't natural muscles.
No, well, he's taking growth hormone and testosterone. Yeah.
What?
Like, they have like this. He used to have this cream that you put on, like this lotion that has testosterone in it. But if you hug your kids and that lotion gets on them, they could reach puberty like earlier than normally would. It's kind of dangerous.
Okay,
yeah, that's like a side effect.
My question for that is why? Why?
Well,
why
I guess as you get older,
taking supplements.
Well, because the idea is, as you get older, you stop producing testosterone as much and growth hormone as much, so it's like a longevity thing. But my theory is that he used to juice, because if you take steroids and then you get off it, then your testosterone level is lower. It's like your body realizes you have too much testosterone in your body, so like your testicles like shut off, like when you're taking steroids. Then you get off the steroids, and your body is like all fucked up. Like you have way less testosterone.
That makes a lot of sense, and I'm really confused why. I don't understand why people turn to steroids in the first place, or try to hijack their testosterone levels. Because the normal, if you just lift weights and eat turkeys, the normal testosterone level from a man is, I think, enough. And even scientifically speaking, like you could say that you're doing it for appearance sake, but statistically speaking, most women prefer not like a super high amount of testosterone, but like a very moderate amount. Like if we're talking about like body fat percentages, like 12%, which is just in shape and lean, is like the most attractive according to most studies. Like between 12 and 15%. So if you take steroids, if you take steroids and like you get really jacked and you have like 6% body fat, who is that for other than you? Is it just you're so insecure that you want to be the biggest fucking dude that's ever existed?
Well, it's like women that get super skinny. It's like it's for other dudes, right? And just like women that get super skinny, that's like to show off to other women.
Yeah, it's not for the opposite sex. It's not about attraction anymore. Right. Because attraction is like you're just healthy, you eat healthy or you exercise, and that's kind of enough. For most people to be like, that will produce healthy offspring, you know? And so going so far to the extreme is totally just to be like, I'm the top walrus. You know what I mean? And so like, I'm the biggest fucking walrus on this side of this goddamn iceberg. But that's still confusing to me though, because the only point of being the top walrus is because you want to get all the walrus bitches. But you're not going to get all the walrus britches going to that far extreme and looking so crazy. You might convince, like if you're a really jacked dude, you might convince the other dudes that you're the shit. But like it's not going to convince the women to procreate with you, right? So what? Like I still think it's futile. It's useless.
I think I don't think it's really a longevity drug because women live longer than men. So how could testosterone?
No, testosterone will end your life.
You live longer. Yeah, you get
God, you guys are such beta males.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Fucking soy boy beta cocks, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
No, but
actually, Rob. Ted tried to convince me earlier that alpha males don't exist. I mean, come on, you're looking at one.
He's like, you're such a beta. He's like, you're such a beta.
Soy boy beta cucks, man. Jesus.
We're saying okay, if you get pulled over for a speeding ticket, you're an alpha male, are you gonna out alpha the cop, just go over the dog?
You just start smacking the dashboard.
Yeah, I think when keeping it real goes wrong, I think that's what that was about.
That's exactly what that is. That's what that fucking amounts to, for sure. It's basically just I feel so bad about myself that here's this put on personality.
Yeah,
Like no one's going to tell me what to do. And it's like, you're just acting like an asshole, man.
But there is pheromones, right, Josh? Those pheromones, some guys have them, right? Like that dude you were talking about. Roll down the window and all the women just take off their panties. Who's that guy? Was guy in your band?
And their panties got wet, you know? They're just like, oh my God. It's completely chemical. Later, they wake up in a daze, you know, days later, after just smelling him, he's just walked past him in a hallway, you know? And
days
later they wake up, their pants are destroyed, you know?
Yeah. Those guys, those metal detector guys, they have that kind of effect on them. Those guys.
What? What?
Those guys,
what are you talking about?
Walk around with metal detectors.
Women like them?
Fucking pussy magnets. Yes.
Is that true?
Wait, why? Wait, what are you talking about, man? Wait, what the fuck?
Ted just went off the res. Oh my god, I need a segue now. Quick, segue. Hey, okay.
We're just gonna change the subject now. Okay.
I don't want to talk. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this. Every time we talk, you end up going back to metal detecting. It's I tried telling you, I don't want to be a metal detector.
You're missing out on all the pussy, man. Okay, good.
Yeah, I know. That's what you keep saying. I don't understand. You're like, it looks like a big metal dick.
The only way I could think to rationalize that in any way, shape, or form is to say, dudes who work there are really good at detecting metal, so women think they're going to have all the jewelry or something. Like, I have no idea how to rationalize that.
That is offensive. First, you start off with fat phobic talk. You're like talking about how, like, if you're at what was it? What 12%. % of weight did women like? Yeah, 12%. Bullshit. They like all sorts, bro.
Women like guys with veins on their chest.
Oh. So, like,
now you're. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So, like, traits, like dominant traits that prove your success manifest in a variety of ways. Body fat percentage is just one of them. Another one is like social hierarchy. Like, how sociable are you? How confident are you? Like, another one is like resources. Like, how much do you have? What do you have? Everyone has a different attraction to a different quality. Right. But those are the qualities that you can have to attract people. Like, maybe you're confident and sociable and funny. Humor is one way that translates, and people will be attracted to that. Maybe you're very hardworking and you're really good at saving money, so you have a lot of resources, and someone's going to be attracted to that. Maybe you have a big dick, so your sperm can get past the other guy's sperm, and you can ensure pregnancy occurs in a woman. Or body fat percentage is just one of them. I mean, that's why, like, I remember I had a friend that he was this really insecure dude, and he would be like, you know, Rob, I see these really hot chicks with these obese dudes, and I just wonder what's wrong with me. And it's like, well, dude, I think you're not seeing the full you're not seeing the full range of what people are attracted to. Because
here's the thing: those guys aren't asking themselves that question.
That's
you know,
they're asking women that question, right? Not themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Yeah. That's a fair point. Yeah, man. So I know you were just joking about body shaming or whatever, but I felt the need to explain that in depth because I feel like there are people out there that really think, really get upset about that.
Well, they've done these things with their face. They've done these studies with, like, the face.
Yeah.
You know, and they have this dude, like, he looks like a guy with, like, super high testosterone. And they think, oh, that's like a good short-term romance.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
That's exactly what it is. He's a good fuck, which translates basically to, I want his genes to make a baby because I want a strong baby, but I want the dude with less testosterone to stay around and take care of the baby because he's not going to go put babies in other women. Right. That is literally what it translates to. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And then we were getting into the testicle size. Remember, Josh?
Oh yeah,
we were talking about the gorillas have like tiny package. Because the gorilla females are very loyal and faithful, but the chimpanzee females are total sluts. So the chimps have giant balls. They have to, like, put out a lot of sperm to compete with all the other males in their sperm. Yeah, it's kind of gross when you really get.
I need me a gorilla woman, dude.
Yeah, gorillas. Yeah, they're super loyal. They're super loyal.
They're strong, and they can you know, when you're ready to go to bed, they'll rock you to sleep. You know.
Yeah, they'll fix your house.
Have you heard that? I'm totally going to be paraphrasing this because I don't remember the particulars, but something about having a bigger dick translates to there being more promiscuous females in the area or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. True.
How do they find that out? Like, how do you? Like, I don't understand how that works. Because it has to
get in deeper. Get past
I know that. But I mean,
beta sperm.
How did they how did they quantify the amount of promiscuous women in an area translated to a dude with a big dick?
Completely based on survey. They're like, hey, they're like at a mall. They're like, hey, dude, how big's your dick? He's like, I mean, 10 inches on a bad day.
Well, that makes me feel like...
They're like, is your wife super slutty? So, oh, yeah, man. My wife is a super slut. You're like...
Well, that makes me feel like my mom and my sister are sluts, too, man. I spent the majority of my childhood with them.
Gross. Well, you know what really is real, though? All the women that live together, they all get their period at the same time. What's that about?
What's that about, bro?
The alpha female.
Yeah, we really need
Their cycles will line up with the alpha female. Yeah. Like, why is
we
that?
really need a female perspective on here.
This is offensive. This is sexist.
We're going, yeah, we go off the rails with like 3 dudes.
How? If I invited my 20-year-old, wait, where'd you go, Ted?
What is
There
it?
you
Says
are. There you
RO.
are.
Still there.
If I click on RO, oh, there you are.
Stabilize that connection, Ted.
Wait, if I click you again, what happens? There we are. Okay.
Stabilize that connection. There we go.
There we go.
Stop pushing buttons. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me bring the show back under control.
Okay, all right,
Hold on.
all
Let me
right.
find a story for us to fucking talk about before this turns into really, horrible shit. How about Portland? Watch your back. Go to Portland, but watch your back if you do. Have you guys heard about the Portland Tourism Board putting out this new ad?
All the dirty hippies? What?
What?
It's here's the headlines from the Daily Mail, of course.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. We like it that way. Portland tourism bosses are slammed for taking out full-page ad in New York Times, admitting that the riot-hit city has an edge, in quotes, but claiming that locals love it.
Yeah.
So let's see. A full-page advertisement for the city of Portland appeared in Sunday's New York Times paper. The ad was created and purchased by Travel Portland, a private nonprofit.
Oh shit! You're cutting out.
I think it's probably you, buddy. Funded through a contract with the Oregon Convention Center. It claimed locals like the riot-hit city's edge, adding anything can happen. We like it this way.
Lots of
Let me
tear
read the
gas.
ad to you. Let me read the ad. The ad is just a blank. It's just blank. Rob is a graphic designer, so he'll love this. And
I'm a
he's worked in
recovering
newspapers.
graphic designer.
He's a recovering graphic designer who used to work in newspapers. So this is a giant blank white page with all of the text, and it looks like Times Times.
Yeah,
looks like Times Roman. And at 12 point, and it's all centered, so it looks kind of like a weird. Okay, there's nothing else on it, bro, and there's a lot of white space everywhere.
Perfect.
Very white. Anyway, This is Portland. It says at the top. You've heard a lot about us lately. It's been a while since you heard from us. Those italics are not mine. Those italics are also in there in the copy.
Portland.
Some of what you've heard about Portland is true. Some is not. What matters most is that we're true to ourselves. There's a river that cuts through the middle of our town. It divides the east and west, but it's bridged over and over again. 12 times to be specific, and that's kind of a great metaphor for this city. We're a place of dualities that are never polarities. Two sides to the same coin that keeps landing right on its edge. Anything can happen, and we like it this way.
That's like it's written by Portlandia writers.
Yeah, that is like a Portlandia skit. What the fuck? That's real?
Yeah, and it keeps going. This is the kind of place where new ideas are welcome, whether they're creative, cutting edge, or curious at first glance. You can speak up here. You can be yourself. We have some of the loudest voices on the West Coast, and yes, passion pushes the volume all the way up. We've always been like this. We wouldn't have it any other way. We have faith in the future. We're building it every day. The only way we know how, by being Portland. Come see for yourself.
Like, see, I heard that like the riots are only like right by the courthouse, and like you don't even know there's riots going on. Like most of the.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem to be. Is it Portland people saying that? Because I've seen a lot of other people not saying that. I've seen Portland people freaking out about it and saying they're moving out.
Oh yeah.
All I hear is a brony saying, "I just like it for the art." You know what I mean? Like, also, like, how the fuck? How is this news? Yeah, y'all motherfuckers in Portland are weird. You've always been that way.
Well, here's why it's news: is because they're losing people. People are moving out of Portland. Yeah. Did you guys hear last week about the riot police quitting? The entire riot police.
Oh, really? I would. That's a thankless job. Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
So. Like they're dying right now. And think about what So in that context,
Yeah.
people, you go into Portland right now and you can get attacked very easily.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there
people
certain states decriminalized like certain criminal acts like larceny and shit, or right?
New Mexico is one of those, man, or at least Albuquerque is.
Really?
Yeah, Albuquerque, you can't get arrested for petty theft.
Wow.
What?
No.
I know.
You have to basically like hit someone to go to jail in Albuquerque.
I can go steal someone's wallet right now and not get arrested?
They'll give you a ticket.
Can I keep the wallet?
It depends on how you like where you hide it, I guess.
Can you pay the ticket with the money you stole?
So you just have to pay it right there without the ticket. Like, I'll let you have half. They're like 75%.
I had no idea Portland was like a fucking war zone now. I've been out in the mountains every day of my life. I've been keeping up with anything.
Dude, it's been that way for a year, like now.
All I'm hearing is like instead of that ad, it should just be fucking Kurt Russell in front of Portland and just be like escape from Portland or whatever, because it sounds like that's what they're embracing. It's just it's just the apocalypse over here and it's Mad Max, and just come over and have a great time.
Yeah, think about that in context. Now that you know that, the fact that they're going, we love the edge here.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
They're talking about the metaphor. There's a left and a right. Or they didn't say left and right. There's two sides, and they're flipped. It's an edge. You're like, come on, dude. Like, you guys are literally having like people hit each other and like shoot each other over this right now. Dude, like, that's not a cool edge.
The mayor of Portland just needs to fucking pose with a sideways gun at the camera. You know what I mean? Just being like, "What? Come to Portland. Like, let's see what happens. See what happens. Come to Portland. Pick up the gun." Come on over.
See what happens. So yeah, I think we should all go to Portland. What do you think?
I would love to go.
Christmas of 2019. That was before all the weird shit started happening, and like me, it's just like a cool place to like buy like craft beer and fucking have like tapas and fucking listen to music. It's just like a very artsy kind of.
That sounds
town.
Just like Albuquerque.
I'm sad that I can't visit it. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't what?
I mean, I guess I could visit it, but I just don't want to.
Well, you follow Anthony Nago on Twitter? Like, he's always covering like the Portland riots. Like, he posts the mugshots and everything.
Maybe is the problem, is I follow him a lot, and he's always in the thick of it too. So I don't know. We've kind of looked at that before, right? I think Andy No does great stuff. He's really good. Like, I'm glad that he's there doing that, because while people were saying, oh, it's a mostly peaceful protest, that motherfucker was down there showing people get smashed over the head with, shit. Anyway. But the problem was the milkshake incident, right? The cement milkshake. You know about this, right, Ted? I think you're the one who told me about this. So he got hit with a milkshake. There's this weird thing where people were throwing milkshakes, and I don't even remember how it started during the protest last year.
Fascists.
Yeah, there was this thing, you'd throw milkshakes on fascists. So someone got pissed at Andy No, and they throw a milkshake and hit him in the head. But this wasn't a milkshake, it was a milkshake mixed with concrete, right?
Holy fuck!
And so he got super injured. Hold up. He had a fucking concussion. He goes to the hospital. All this shit happens. He's filming all of it. There's like, other than him saying that, there's one weird video of somebody pouring something in a milkshake mix, but like they say that it's a milkshake in the thing. They don't say that it's concrete, and it doesn't look like concrete, and there's no evidence that there was concrete. Like, I don't understand where it's almost like somebody said that it could have been concrete, and he just like went with it. And like,
plus he said he had an aneurysm, and there's no proof. There's no medical. There's no like record of him being treated for an aneurysm. Yeah.
Right. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. That's what it was. Yeah. So I don't know, man. When people start talking about him being a bad faith actor, it's like, well, maybe.
I don't think
that seems like a pretty weird thing. I think
he is like a grip. Like, I think he's one of these people that really wanted to be in the public eye and be like famous and shit. And he's like had a different incarnations, But I feel
Did you ever watch him on Rogan?
I feel like he's sharing like real stories though, so you can't really argue.
Exactly, it's film.
Like this person was arrested for rioting, he posted a mugshot.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like one of these things where it's like you want to have a view of reality, not like a view of like left wing reality or like right wing reality.
You want to?
Like, I listen to them because I want to have like a all encompassing like reality, as much as I can.
Something close to the truth.
Yeah, there's just certain stories that people aren't going to post, on the left. They're not going to like show like the riots in like a bad light,
Did you see him on Joe Rogan?
He could be full of shit too, but
Ted, did you see him on Joe Rogan?
Doesn't he has a fake British accent too? He has a fake British accent.
I've never seen it. I'm just wondering if like what was he like on there?
He had like a fake British accent, yeah.
Oh, okay, weird.
And like people have researched that, like he's not really British, like he never lived.
He just puts it on, does he? It's not real like this one, eh?
Yeah. Oh my god, no!
From Britain,
Robert, don't, dude. It's so bad. It's the
fucking
worst,
bruv.
It is the worst British accent of all time. Of all time.
Bruv.
Like, do it. Give it to me. Come on.
No.
I know it's hard to do that shit on the spot, right?
I can't do it on the spot. I'm not going to. But listen, I think there's so many degrees of subterfuge in media that I trust absolutely no one that gets in front of a screen or tells me anything through a microphone. I can't trust anybody. I don't. I'm skeptical of all. I think either you don't listen to it all or you listen to all of it to actually form the bigger picture. Because the only way to get like an objective view of reality is listen to everything and then try to line up what seems accurate or what both parties seem to report as the same. Because at this point, how the fuck am I supposed to trust anyone? I really don't anymore. Like, I'm so suspicious of being sold a particular worldview, because that's how media caters to its audience now. It's like we're all like rooting for football teams and shit.
Like Hate Inc., right? Like Hate Inc. at TV. Like they used to have the Cold War. We have to have like an enemy to like have a cohesive unit in the country, So we had like the Cold War, they're like the enemy, and then that Cold War kind of fizzled out. So now it's like your neighbor is the enemy. That's how the news is like those Trumpers, they got the like people like call the cops when they see people like with a bunch of American flags. Like they think
that's insane.
So
they think they're like right wing, like terrorists and stuff. Yeah.
The common enemy is working together. That's the common enemy now. Is like getting along.
Yeah.
It's not Russia. Getting along is the common enemy. Yeah.
Holy
your
shit,
your neighbor
true.
is the enemy. Yeah.
That's
Hate Inc. by Matt Taibbi. He wrote that. He like wrote that.
So who is he? So who does Matt Taibbi say is doing it? Like somebody has to be behind it, right?
Well, I think the network wants sensationalistic stories to make money. It's like a confluence of different factors. Like the establishment wants like a certain perspective, like propaganda. But then the networks, like they're like, if it bleeds, it leads, So they just look for sensationalistic stories about people from different like political factions,
It's a business.
Yeah.
They're selling a product. They have to rake in views. They have to have a certain amount of people watching so they can get that ad money.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that's important to remember. It's like, even at the newspapers that we worked at, Josh, it was like at the end of the day, what was the most important thing? It was like the ads. Like piss off. It's a business. It needs money to run. Like that's the unfortunate reality of that always. Unless Elon Musk one day is just like, here's $20 million to run successfully for 10 years without having to worry about making any money or something. Like,
do you remember Pi Day? Do you remember Pi Day? It's like
Pi
March.
Day?
What is it? March 14th? Is that Pi 314? How does
Pi Day?
Oh yeah.
So for Pi Day, I got asked, go out and write. We need you to do a sidebar, which is what 500 words, 450 words.
Yeah.
About some pie. Go eat some pie around town. We want you to go to these places, and they named them off. And I go to one of them, and oh my god, dude, they made the fucking worst pie of all time. It was like sand. Really? It was disgusting.
How do you?
It was just like sand.
It was like an art walk?
I'll tell you how. It was I'll blow them out of the water. Annapurna. Is that the name of the place?
Oh, fuck that place. Yeah.
It's like a vegan.
It's vegan. It's gross.
No air conditioning because, it's wrong. They got a culty feel there.
They do.
Yeah.
Their food is bad. It's bad, but because there's nothing else in Albuquerque that's vegan, everybody just pretends like it's great and they say like it's wonderful and stuff. And I think it might be that like people kind of worry that it's like, I don't think I get this thing, so I better just say it's good so I don't look stupid. But anyway, so I'm eating this pie. I'm like, this is garbage. I can't finish this pie. And so I wrote like this real like funny thing about, how disgusting it was. And they fucking pulled it and they made a big deal.
It? Oh,
and
really?
That was my virgin poppin' moment, right? The cherry pop moment where I was just like, because usually that was a big thing. They hired me and they said, we want you to be real edgy. We want you to come in and say crazy stuff. I would write stuff and they'd be like, this is tame, man. I've seen your emails. You're a lot crazier than this. Why don't you just, da-da-da.
They want you to be like Charles Bukowski.
So and so it was this pie thing. I go, why the fuck do you? It's just I just talk shit about pie. Who cares? And they go, well, Annapurna pays. They pay like for a quarter page every week. And
oh shit! You stepped on the toes. The advertising.
Stepped on the toes. Yeah, and that place was really trying hard to sell like a punk rock vibe. And
think about that versus CNN. Now level this up to CNN. They're talking $1 million contracts, and they are not going for a punk rock vibe.
No, they're not. They don't care. I remember one of the first bonding moments I ever had with Josh was sitting down in a bar somewhere and him being like, "So this punk rock shit that this place is doing, it's just a total put on, right?" And I was like, "Yep, yeah, it sure is." So CNN's the level of shit going on at CNN is probably ridiculous. I mean, they probably pay them to run certain stories.
We were talking.
Well, they leaked, Project
$100
Veritas.
ads.
They leaked they couldn't talk about Epstein because then the royal family won't let them interview him. Remember that got leaked by Project Veritas? Yeah, the chick on CNN. Yeah,
that's right. That did happen. Man, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Didn't something happen
I gotta eat dinner
Epstein?
though, you guys.
Or with Ghislaine? Huh?
I gotta eat dinner.
Oh, okay. Well, Ted, where can people find you?
Was that very abrupt?
That's fine. Where can people find you?
I prefer don't beat around the bush.
Twitter.
Get to it.
I'm on Twitter at Ted Heisman.
Baller. All right, get out of here, bro. Me and Rob will close it out later.
It's been fun.
We'll finish this shit. All right, you have a good one, man. Nice talking to you.
Is he gone?
He's gone.
Let's talk about him. Let's talk.
Let's talk. He just keeps it on and listens to us talking shit. Gonna go eat dinner. I don't even have anything bad to say about him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, until we'll make sure once he hangs out. I love how he always says he's going to send me the tape of this.
The tape? He's got a cassette going in the background.
Dog, you ain't sending me no tape.
Dog, I got this session pressed on vinyl for you. You're going to get it in the mail in a couple weeks. Y'all want this on vinyl?
So I really like this hat choice. It's great. This cowboy hat. Is it a cowboy hat?
Well, kind of. It's like, it's kind of
like that Australian look.
It's like it's kind of like an Outback hat. It's very Indiana Jones, I want to say.
There you go.
It's cowboy-esque. It's cowboy adjacent. But it's just like it's like I spend so much time out in the sun, and it's been extraordinarily hot here in New Mexico, that I was like, I need a hat to protect my face, because it's like my face is turning so brown that I'm going to start getting arrested by police soon. You know what I mean? And like,
I was about to say, I feel like this is a racist thing on your part. Like, I'm getting a little too dark over here. Man, you have got to watch the Alex Jones appearance on that show.
Okay.
Andrew Schultz is that guy we were watching who did all the crowd work.
Yeah, I remember him. I remember him. Yeah.
Okay, so it's his podcast, and they get Alex Jones drunk, dude, and he is saying crazy shit. and they're basically like clarifying things. Like he's like, well, you know, all this gay stuff with the black people. And he'll go, and they're like, wait, you're not saying you don't like gay people or black people. You're saying that the globalists are using it. Well, yeah, these corporations. Like, oh my God. At one point he picks up, there's like a smaller comedian that's on, like, I always forget this dude's name that co-hosts the show. And he picks him up and it throws him over his shoulder and is like spinning him around and shit. They have one of those like fake like sugar, like what do they call that? That sugar glass bottles that you break over people's heads. And he goes, Alex Jones goes, Trump was a terrible thing for America. And Andrew Schultz goes, oh shit, smashes him over the head. It was one of the greatest things I've seen.
Alex Jones is just that spazzy kid in high school that everybody picks on because they think it's funny or whatever. Poor guy.
There's this thing that people like to say where they're like, he's a CIA plant and shit. I'm like, when you watch stuff like that, you can see that he does not have a fucking filter. Like, he's not good at like covering what he's thinking.
The CIA would never in a million years hire a man like that. Like,
no, dude, not to lie. That's for damn sure. Maybe they would hire him to just keep being. Yeah, you do you, bro. You keep being you. But there's no fucking way they're gonna be like, go out there in front of millions of people and pretend to be something you're not. Because he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
No way. No way, unless it's just a really elaborate performance, which in that case he would be a phenomenal actor.
Oh my God! And every single person that's friends with him, he's doing it constantly, right? Like,
yeah. Which brings me to a subject I wanted to ask you about, actually.
Lay it on me, baby.
What's up?
I said, lay it on me, baby.
I'll lay it on you, bro. Let me zip it real quick. Okay. So I was wondering about the idea of persona, because I was thinking about, like, Alex Jones is a perfect segue for this. I was thinking about David Bowie and all of his weird personas that he created. And I remember David Bowie saying once that the reason why he got along with his wife is because his wife knew the difference between him and his persona. But I would actually argue that there is no difference. And when you put on a persona, it is just a different version of yourself that you otherwise feel like you can't express unless you compartmentalize it into a box that says it's a persona.
Or unless you are consciously doing it. Like I came across this idea that Grant Morrison would talk about the memeplex. Like meme, M-E-M-E, the memeplex. And he would basically say, like I think he was saying that in the future, we would all live as if we had, what's multiple personality disorders?
DID, dissociative identity.
Dissociative, yeah. So he said we would be all living as DID as like a lifestyle. Okay, and he called it the memeplex. Yeah. And basically, you would be consciously choosing your, like he did it like, oh, today I need to be James Bond, so you'd use the meme, the part of your memeplex that's James Bond. You'd be that one or whatever. And that really influenced me a lot. So I've done that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
We were kind of talking about this, like invocation, the magical idea of invocation, of becoming possessed by a spirit. And NLP kind of has similar things too, where so you don't, it doesn't have to be woo like we were talking about earlier. But basically, if you pretend to be, if you act like you're something, you'll do those things. You are that thing.
That's what I mean.
So if you're consciously doing it, then yes, to what you were saying. Like personas. But I think most people generally kind of they have those masks and those personas, but they don't know that that's a persona. Like it's them. It is them. Yeah.
It might be unconscious, but yeah, I would argue that it's still them, because even if it is unconscious, there is something about them that decided that's the thing that they're going to do. Like there's something about the things that they're picking up on and absorbing that resonate with them. So that is them. So even if it's an unconscious put on, like there's something about that they want to be.
Like something I'm going to freak you out with, bro. What if there's no, the question seems kind of silly to me, because you're saying that there's a true self, like a kernel self?
No. I'm saying that like there's not one true self, But everything that is an expression of what you do from your unconscious mind to the external world is you. Like, I think it is you in the sense that, like, that is something that you care about. Like, even if you have, like, a narcissist pretending to be cooler than they are, they want to be those things. They're just not doing it.
They just can't, right?
They just
and
can't.
Like, tortured by it or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Don't they also, like, I guess it's like lofty, right? They have loftier goals than most people.
Their goals are super lofty, yeah. Their goals are
like,
super lofty.
I want to be the savior of humanity.
I'm going to be the best. Like, I'm the best worker in this fucking warehouse. Like, I'm going to be the best student. My teachers tell me I'm special. I'm special.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, well, dude, if you have to scream in somebody's face that you're special all the time, are you? Are you really?
You're definitely never going to be able to reach that too, right? So they're...
Yeah, no, you won't.
We always end up talking about narcissists because narcissism is so interesting to me. It's really weird. It's got so many facets to it, and I feel really misunderstood. Like, a lot of people kind of think it's like vanity. They confuse it for vanity.
It's not necessarily vanity. Yeah, it's like they're like doing the same thing where they're consciously acting out roles. They're consciously acting out like archetypes and like personas. But it's like, it's sort of like, so this hat that I got this. Yeah. I mean, I got this for utility's sake to protect my face when I'm hiking, but I also got it because it reminds me of the cowboy that I feel like I am internally. Mm-hmm. But that's very much so like a values thing. I never use it as a way to make myself feel above others. It's just a way to make myself feel like something that's important to me, right? So that's the thing that a narcissist is doing, is they're invoking a persona to put themselves above others. It's very much so a competitive, like, I am going to make a point of saying, look how much better I am than other people, instead of invoking something that might be like meaningful to them. You know what I mean? Because like the true idea of success and confidence comes within like humility and being able to like accept things and like yada, yada, yada. Like, that's like true success. But a narcissist's idea of success is like, I'm literally the best, and no one can disprove that. I make the best things. I do the best stuff. Therefore, all the insecurities I feel about myself internally must not be true.
Poor narcissists. That's what I always get back to, is that I feel like narcissists are like victims of themselves. I mean, there's a lot of narcissists leave terrible victims in their wake, for sure. Like, their families are just destroyed. Like, a really bad narcissist will like fuck up their family, right? But they're getting victimized by it as well. It's crazy because they don't have any control over that situation.
No, they don't. Yeah, that's the hard part, is that, and not just with narcissism, but with any kind of mental illness, is that it's sort of like, as angry as you want to be at this person that you feel like is like taking advantage of you, they're not. Like, they're human too. It's just they have such a disconnect from reality. Yeah. That they're like almost constantly delusional, that they're having a hard time interacting with people. And narcissists and people with like antisocial personality disorder and borderline too, just it happens to be that the way they interact with the world can be harmful to others, whether that's emotionally or physically.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to be like, you don't have to be like they're good people or anything, you know, but
what you can say is they are.
You don't have to allow them to hurt you.
You don't have to allow them to hurt you. No, you can sort of set your boundaries within it, and you can say like, because like every mental illness has a way to be treated, as far as we know right now, and with the exception of like antisocial, that one's super hard to treat, but most of them can be treated. So I guess if you have a person like that in your life, you just have to set the right boundaries. You have to say, this is what I will accept and this is what I won't accept. And that can kind of help somebody like that understand, maybe I should act like this more if I want this person in my life. Yeah. Like you setting your boundaries, hopefully gets them to examine their behaviors and then figure out a way, whether it's through therapy or something else, to control them. Because it's like, at a young age, someone told the narcissist they had to behave a certain way in order to get love.
They had to be the best.
They had to be the best. Yeah. So that their brain is programmed that way. Like that's like literally someone developed their personality that way. So the only way to get them to not act like that is for them to be able to see the error of their ways and see, like, when I do this, when I behave like this, it actually does not give me what I want. So I got to figure out how to not behave like this. What do I need to do? Maybe I can figure out a way to not be so insecure about myself. Maybe I can realize that, like, I'm not living for my dad or my mom anymore. I'm living for me. So I'm going to figure out what's important to me. Like, there's a whole process that psychotherapy goes through with treating these things. But it is important, to always fucking set boundaries, because if you don't set boundaries, you're just enabling that person's behavior.
I was noticing, and it's connected, but not exactly the same, because it's about homeless people, but, you know.
That's a mental illness.
Yeah. What were we saying earlier? It's a choice, bro.
It's a choice, dog. Yeah.
I've been noticing, I've been cruising Reddit a lot lately, like for the first time ever. I know everybody else has been doing it for 20 years or whatever.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, bro. Jesus.
So I've been cruising around Reddit, and I noticed that, like, I really love reading Let's Not Meet. Have you seen that subreddit? It's all like stories about really weird, freaky people that, you know, like, are dangerous situations where you almost got kidnapped or killed or something.
Yes, I have, yes.
I love cruising that. It freaks me out. I read it at 3 a.m. You know, it's perfect. Scares the shit out of me.
Yeah,
so,
those can be really scary.
I've noticed that whenever people tell a freaky story about a homeless person, a lot of people will have to hop in there and go, that sucks, man. You know, it's terrible that happened to you, but, you know, probably he was harmless and you just didn't da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, why are these people, like, homeless people are people first, and people aren't always harmless, you know?
No,
like,
no.
Why is this like a reaction? But I feel like the same thing happens. There's like, it's like dehumanizing on the benevolent side or something, where you're like, this object, you know, is like da-da-da, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But I noticed the same thing happens with mental illness. Like, we have this thing happen where people kind of they don't set up those correct boundaries because there's a weird, like, we're all kind of realizing this thing that you and I are talking about, where most people that are like severely mentally ill can't fucking help it. They're at a weird spot and they can't fucking help it. And that puts you in an empathetic position so that you're like, then you end up being like, this person's harmless, when they're not. They're harming you.
Well, the problem
you're still going to let them do it, you know?
The problem there is, because you can have a relationship with a mentally ill person, you can have a friendship, you can have any kind of interaction with them you want. But the thing that everyone has to always remember is that there's nothing you can do to help them. Like, they have to help themselves, always. You can tell them. You can say, hey, I think you need help. Or you can say, hey, I think this thing that you do is shitty, or whatever. Or you can bring it to their attention, but there is absolutely fucking nothing you can do to get inside another person's head and change them. Like, it has to be, they have to be the ones that make the active choice to do something about it. So therefore, it's sort of like, you enter into relationships with people because your dynamic is complementary. You complement each other. You never want to complete each other. Like, I remember being like a sad little boy when I was a teenager. I remember this girl I dated was like, she really wanted to be with me because she was attracted to me. And then she was also like, I think I can fix him. And that's the mentality you never want to take with a mentally ill person. You cannot fix them. You can cohabitate with them and you can love them, but they have to fix themselves to the point where they can maintain a healthy relationship with another human being.
What do you think is the thing that makes you... Because, just think about yourself when people try to convince you. If someone can tell you something over and over and over again, and then, like, one day, you agree suddenly, even though you've been disagreeing for years and years. I hated Animal Collective for a fucking decade. I called it alien music, and I was just like, oh, it's garbage. This is horrible. And now it's, like, my favorite band ever, you know?
Because what broke you down?
Well, that's what I'm asking. So the thing is you're absolutely right. I think in that you you can sit there and argue with someone all day, and you're not going to be the one ever that convinces them to change their mind. It's them in their dark moment or whatever. But what is it? What's the trigger? Because it's clearly you get through too sometimes, right? Is it like, my point is it a waste of time? Because I've basically come to this conclusion, and I kind of don't argue with people because it feels like a waste of time. But is it really? Like, they have to get those ideas somewhere, right?
They need, how do I put this? They need to know how they're clashing with reality. So like, if you never tell them something that they do hurts you or affects you in a certain way, like they may never have an understanding that what they're going through is a delusion, right? So it's like there has to be some kind of separation between like a healthy reality and an unhealthy reality. And so whenever you bring it to their attention, and this is not even just mentally ill people, this is anyone in a fucking relationship. Like, absolutely. Yeah. You tell somebody, hey, when you come home and you kick the dog and you stab me with a knife, it really hurts me. So you should probably stop doing that. That's a ridiculous hyperbolic example. But my point is that any behavior that is like, you feel like is harmful to you, you have to let someone know, and you can't force them to change it. But if you let someone know and they care about you, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, how can I fix this?
Hopefully they can be self-aware enough.
They can be self-aware enough to be like, I need to change. I need to make a change, because everyone, whether you're mentally ill or not, everyone has some traumatic bullshit they've been through that informs their experiences. Like maybe they got bullied in school, maybe their dad beat them. Who the fuck knows what it is? Yeah. But there's something that's going to set everyone off in some kind of way, right? But like, you have to have awareness. Like someone brings that to your attention, then you think about like, why am I feeling this way? And then you process all that old shit that happened and try to reinterpret it in a way where you say, I don't have to react to this anymore because I'm no longer being hurt. But but until people do that, until they get to the point where they can sit down and reprocess their traumas, they're always going to be acting like someone's trying to hurt them. It's always going to be defensive. Yeah. Like I would wager to say that almost all abuse in relationships is defensive. I want to say almost, with the exception of people who are like truly, psychotic or psychopathic. Psychotic, yeah. Yeah. It's almost always defensive because you're just projecting a trauma that you've been through onto another person and then fighting it like it's a monster. It's like, whenever I was 5, I got attacked by a dragon. So now my girlfriend, anytime she like does anything that reminds me of a dragon, she's a dragon and I'm going to fight it because I'm not going to let another dragon beat me again. And it's sort of like that mentality. And, certain traumas are easier to process. Like that thing I was just talking to Ted about, the bilateral stimulation. That helps people calm their brain down enough to be able to talk about it so they don't. When most people think about something traumatic, their heart rate rises, their blood pressure rises, they start getting very anxious, cortisol starts getting released. They get into an emotional aroused state. Bilateral stimulation helps you think about something without being emotionally aroused. So, it's all about reprocessing that shit and figuring out how to be functional in relationships, because, you have to be able to take your present day reality at face value without applying some past shit that happened and being delusional about what's going on now, because it's so easy for us as humans to think that our memory is solid or our memory is reality. But it's so murky. It's so murky how we remember things. Yeah. It's so fucking murky, man. Like, you just don't know. And then, the more you apply that to people in your present day reality, I think the more you're kind of missing out on what's actually going on in front of you.
Interesting take, Robert. I think we're about winding down here. We're hitting almost 2 hours.
Okay.
Let me see if there's any cool stories to talk about on here with you. Nothing about cowboys, man. That's what I really want to talk to you about.
I would love to talk about cowboys.
I'm glad you started wearing this cowboy hat. I think that's...
Yeah, I like it.
This is a chaos magic move, man. It's funny because I kind of wanted to ask you if you think magic attracts narcissists, because I bet it does, because they get to be a powerful wizard.
Dude, I dated a narcissist that genuinely believed she had control over the weather. She genuinely believed when it was raining, it was because she was sad.
Wow. Interesting.
Like every time it rained, you know? Like to the point where...
Isn't that a condition? It's called like... There's something like a weather dependent mood disorder
seasonal affective disorder.
Boom.
Yeah, that is a real thing.
I liked my name better.
That is a real thing, but like it's different whenever you say when it rains I'm sad versus when I'm sad it rains.
Yeah, I know.
When I'm sad it rains, it's like there's...
It's not real different. She just had to switch one word, right? She just had to flip like the sentence, and then suddenly she gets to have like this cool story where she's a badass witch and like...
Dude, basically what it says is like, I am so powerful that I control nature.
Did she ever tell you ahead of time that she was going to make it rain?
If it was cloudy.
I know that joke.
Yeah, dude. Shit. And like, it was like...
That's a good gag.
That was a totally fun thing to just believe it. Like, I was like, yeah, sure. Like how romantic. Every time it rains, I'm going to think of you now. Like, that was a fun thing to believe in. But it is crazy to assume that, like, the world is reacting to you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's
well,
crazy.
When I've done a bunch, or a couple of shows with, on our I guess like our parent podcast, Sitting Now. We've done a couple of interviews where I was on there, and I kept finding out, man, that a lot more people who are really like adept at magic had the same view as I did than I expected, which is that magic is just a way for you to subconsciously fuck with your own brain. And it's funny that you talked about it with the raining, because this is exactly how I always put it. Is like, I'm like, I don't think you can make it rain with magic, but you can probably get yourself to get a job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, because that involves you in a lot of ways, even if subconsciously. And I feel like the reason it looks like magic is because you're putting like an idea into your brain and letting it sizzle there in your subconscious. And then it starts like producing meat, I guess, in this metaphor. This is terrible. But you put the seeds in you put the seeds in your subconscious. The subconscious does the growing for you, and then you start having these fruit, and it's like, oh, this is magic. Well, no, you know, I think what happened is you wished for a job, and suddenly you subconsciously started walking with a little more like straight back, you know, and maybe you put on the right tie without thinking about it. You said you picked a tie at random, but really it was the power tie, you know, and that's what on your way to the interview, you know what I mean?
There's this, I want to call it a principle. I don't know what else to call it, but there's this idea in psychology that is heavily promoted, which is you achieve self-acceptance first, and then you go make goals and achieve them. Because the idea is that no matter where you are in life, if you don't have confidence about who you are and how you feel in that present moment, you cannot actually accomplish things the way you want to. So you do have to trick your brain into like seeing things positively. If you want to be confident, you have to trick yourself into being confident, and then you just will be. Like it's like that's the thing. It's not like, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to make a ton of money, I'm going to buy a race car, I'm going to do this, and then suddenly I'll be confident. No. That's why there's millionaires who hate themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to at a certain point sit down and literally say, like, my perspective is ultimately a choice. And am I going to trick myself into feeling like shit and hating myself, or am I going to trick myself into feeling good about myself and being confident?
Right. And I think that's what magic is.
Yeah.
And with your cowboy hat, like, it's like you're literally using a totem right now, right?
I am,
like,
yes.
People have been doing this, you know, for ages. You know, they take the totem, like a mask of their god, and put it on and become the god, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You want to be more like a cowboy, so you put on a cowboy hat, and like you said earlier, it makes you feel different, right? Like you're like more of a fucking cowboy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you should play around with that more, man.
It's like,
I think you're literally doing an invocation right now. Like you're doing magic chaos magic right now without even knowing it.
And it's like, it's a subtle thing too, because it's not like I'm going to go rob a stranger or rob a bank or whatever. It's like, it's just a subtle way of being like, remembering who I am and why it's cool, why it's important to me.
If you really want to fool around with it, take some objects that you'll never use in any other context, like in a passive context at all, and have them have like a specific goal, you know, like I want to be like this way, or I want to be, you know, and like
wait, what do you mean?
When I wear this watch, I'm gonna be this character or something.
Oh yeah, I think I do and that without
only wear that watch when it's time to be that character. Don't randomly wear it. Only so that you just keep like make that like
okay,
that fucking groove in your brain.
I do that. Yeah. So it's like it, and you can just go check my Spotify and see evidence that I'm doing this. Because when I go hit the trail with my hat on, it's like fucking Sergio Leone soundtracks and old Western music, you know. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm in the frontier.
Nice.
And then driving around in the city, it's probably like, I don't know, maybe some rap or some metal or something. It's just it changes depending on the context of the environment. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So it's like there is a certain brand of confidence I get with this hat on that whenever I have it off, I don't need it or it's gone.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Like it's
exactly
it's constrained to this object.
Yes.
Yeah.
That just and the only reason I'm bringing that up is like as an experiment, just to fool around and see how weird and pliable your ego is, and like
exceptionally pliable.
My thing was with the ties, bro. I mean, you met me and I was already wearing suits and stuff, but that all started because I put on a tie and I noticed people acted differently around me and I acted differently around them. And I was like, that's fucking weird, man. Like,
it is, dude. That is another thing that's fun when it comes to playing with clothing, especially, is that seeing the way people treat you and how they react to you. Like when I walk around the trail with my hat on, I feel like people are like more standoffish or something. Like I go through and they don't want to interact with me that much. Like it's almost like more intimidating. And I don't mean that like narcissistically. It's just that's kind of what that represents, is like a person that wants to be left alone. And then whenever I wear a suit, like a full suit, people like hold the door open for you. People like they literally, it's crazy that like what they do.
Stuff.
They'll give you
people
free
will give you
stuff.
Free things.
Yeah, man.
Which is crazy to me because that seems like the opposite, right? You should be giving free things to like the person who's clearly homeless.
Yeah.
Not the guy in the suit. But no, if you wear a suit, people will just give you free shit. They just give you free shit.
It's so crazy, dude.
They let you walk around freely. You can walk. It's really hard for someone to bother you if you walk around in a suit and act like you know where you're going.
Yeah.
I used to do this all the time. I've made Jessica do it with me a couple of times. But I would just be like out and about and I'd see a door and I'd realize, oh, that door's unlocked and I'm not supposed to go through it. But I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
And I would, if I was wearing a suit, I could walk around easy, man. And people would not make eye contact with me. They just kind of like, oh, he must be here for a reason. And like, I could go squirm around in like weird back hallways and places that I was definitely not supposed to be in, you know?
When you're wearing a suit, wherever you are is where you're supposed to be, and everyone will believe that.
As long as the suit's not wearing you.
As long as the suit's not wearing you, yeah. Unless you're in like an alleyway or like a suit in the desert looks fucking weird.
Yeah.
But anywhere in the city, if you're wearing a suit, people will be like, yeah, this dude's supposed to be here. And not just a blazer, like a suit though. It has to be like full suit, yeah. Because just a blazer, people don't care about that anymore. I see people just wearing blazers with their t-shirts underneath it all the time. But
that doesn't work. That's just hipster shit.
That's just hipster shit. Yeah, it's got to be a full fucking suit. And so, like, one thing I noticed too with the cowboy hat is when I'm on the trail and I wear it, I get that thing where I feel like people are a little intimidated. When I wear it walking the streets, people look at me like I'm a novelty. Like they smile at me. You know what I mean? Like they they walk by and they're like, oh, look at that. You know?
Some cowboy came down from the mountain.
Cowboy came down from the mountain.
It's brown
it's like I'm not wearing spurs. I don't have a gun belt on. Like it's just a hat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's it. Yes, that's right. Yeah. No. I was just thinking about how a gun belt would be a nice addition. This fucking leather bag that I have with the hat really sells it pretty well. But that's more of like, it almost looks more Indiana Jones than cowboy.
You need some boots, man. Some serious boots.
I got boots.
No, man, like hardcore cowboy boots, like, you know, mid-thigh.
Too far for me.
Not mid-thigh.
That's too far.
Crazy.
That's too far. I can't do
like
it.
Like mid-calf with like some cool, like, you know, like stitching on it and shit.
Some like embroidered fucking roses on fire.
Hey, you want to say hi to Robert?
Hey, woman.
Hi, Robert. That cowboy hat on.
He does have like that's what we're talking about is his cowboy hat. I was telling him he needs to buy some serious boots. He does because when we saw Robert last, he showed us the boots that he's talking about, and they are only like what, ankle high? They're
only ankle.
They're fake boots. It looks like he's wearing cowboy boots, but he's not.
Yeah,
I kind of want a pair. I was really jelly of them, but
ankle boots are nice.
But he needs some serious cowboy boots, like. You know, fucking
pointy, like Wrangler embroidered shit, dog.
Almost the exact words I just used.
I can't do it. It's too far. It's because so there's the cowboy that you want to embody is not the cowboy that shows off. That's how I feel about it. I can't. That's too far peacocking for me. That's too much peacocking.
I like the Mexican one where they get like the
pointy
really
boots,
pointy,
the ones that go up like that. Yeah.
Yes, and then they have like the crazy multicolored like stuff on the sides. Like it'll be like a weird like snake or something.
Yeah,
like
man.
Phoenix or some shit.
It'll be like an angel on fire, and it'll be like, "This is for my Hita Johanna." Yeah.
Hey, Joker.
Hey, Joker, a little sniper, bro. Yeah.
You need to do that, man. That'd be cool. And then like those button-up shirts. What is that type of button-up shirt that got real cool with the hipsters?
The Western shirts?
Yeah, and it's got the designs over your titties.
Hold on one second. I have one that's kind of like that. Hold on. Let me show this to you real quick.
I don't want to see it, man. No, dude.
Something
that's
like
not
that?
what I'm talking about at all. No. God, no.
Oh, you're talking about the ones with the like... It's like
they got like Devo and Whip It.
Yeah, those are Western. I don't know why those are specifically Western shirts, but that's what that's called.
Okay.
This one is, every time I wear this, people are always like, "You look like a Colombian drug dealer," which I'm kind of fond of.
They're always like that?
They're always.
Every time,
every time, everyone around me, I go to 7-Eleven, and they're like, "Bro, you gonna sell me some yayo or what?" I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Rob, do you still not want people to find you on the internet?
I guess they can go find my Instagram now. I don't care.
What's your Instagram?
It's Bobby Spaghettios.
Bobby with a Y?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bobby with a Y, Spaghettios.
What's on there? What are you putting on there?
Just pictures of my life.
My wife showed me what was it? Oh, that you were building, like you were pulling like a Survivor, man, on your own out in the fucking woods somewhere.
I've been really obsessed with the idea of figuring out a way to survive without needing society or like needing money or like just like how much can I really do on my own? And so far it's like build a shitty little hut out of twigs, like just for funsies.
It's pretty cool though. It was cool.
Thank you.
Weird.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what about porn? Is that what you were gonna miss? Porn?
No, porn is. The older I get, the less exciting porn is. It's just.
I know, right?
It's really boring.
I don't care.
I don't give a shit at all anymore. Like I don't give a fuck about this. Like it's just. You have enough years of that. I don't know if our sexual drive is going down or what it is, but I just. The older I get,
definitely that too.
Yeah. The older I get, man, the more I'm like, you know what's really hot? Sexual intimacy, or like, going to the grocery store and like having a good time.
I should like holding hands,
nice. And like having nice conversations. That's really sexy.
I wonder if it's like that UFO thing though too. It's like I could just type in boobs and boobs show up on my phone. Like,
yeah,
it's so
who gives
easy.
a shit?
I don't care.
Who gives a shit? And like, I've had enough casual sexual experiences to realize that like boobs alone are gross. Like a vagina alone is gross.
No, I don't know if I can follow you down that road.
Wait. Let me finish. But you get to know somebody, you get to know the shit that they like and the ins and outs of them, and then what becomes hot is like that's like Rebecca's vagina. That's
spoken like a true beta cuck. Spoken like a true beta cuck.
Listen, I'm just a sensitive guy, ladies. You wanna come watch The Notebook and eat spaghetti with me? I'm just a sensitive guy.
They've heard this, bro. They've heard this. It's not going to work. It's not going to. Maybe it'll work on a couple dumb ones.
Listen,
but, you know,
it's going to work.
That's all I need. A couple. I just need a couple dumb ones.
It's going to work because by the time they get to my dungeon, there's an implication that they can't leave until.
They'll notice that it locks from the outside.
They'll notice that it locks from the outside.
They're going to be like, oh, where's the key?
Listen. I am authentically just an emotional person. There are people out there. There are dudes out there who will be like, "I'm just the kind of guy that likes to sit in the field and look at the stars." Like, what
I feel
about
like
you?
most guys that say shit like that are full of shit, unless they're saying it like a private company. You know what I mean? If they're like posting it on Twitter, if they're putting it on Twitter, like. They're lying.
They're lying for sure. A lot of it can be for show. But let me put it this way, and I don't care if the world knows this. When I'm in relationships, I'm the woman.
Oh man, me too.
I am the woman.
We were talking about this before. I put my head on the shoulder.
Like,
I'm the one putting the head on the shoulder. I'm the one like, I'm a baby.
I'm the one that's like, can we spend more quality time together, please?
For sure. I cry more than every girlfriend I've ever had.
Yeah, me too.
Like a soy boy beta cuck. That's me.
I'll even go so far as to say, even though I probably shouldn't admit this, that there was like one time where like, I was in a fight with my girlfriend and she was like, I don't want to come talk to you right now because I don't want to see you cry. And I was like, oh,
okay. Ouch, dude, baby. Ouch. Oh, that's mean, man. Whew. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. You've heard his Instagram. Go make fun of him about this, how much he cries.
Yeah.
You should just change your handle to the Crybaby.
It should be Crybaby Spaghettios, yeah.
I love it. What was it again?
Bobby Spaghettios? It was
Bobby
like
Spaghettios.
I'll tell you,
it's so funny, man.
It was kind of like
funny.
My whole life, I've gotten nicknames from everybody, just like random nicknames that people gave me, and then I was sitting there being like, I want to make my own. I want my own nickname that I give myself. And I was just, I don't know where the fuck it came from. I was just like thinking of dumb shit. And I was like, Bobby Spaghettios. That sounds funny to me. It means nothing. Yeah. But it just sounds funny. Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue.
It rolls off the tongue, you know?
It's so stupid. I love it. That's perfect.
Also, I love spaghetti westerns, so maybe that we'll throw that in there somewhere.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we're on Twitter at CCN Podcast. We have a dead Facebook that you can find, but nobody's tending. And we probably won't tend it. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.